incarnation of God, beloved, is indeed empowering when you have it, when you internalize it, when God is not only a seed of light within you, or a profile of Ishvara, but in actuality, a God that has expanded because you have pursued the God consciousness. Incarnation can be a spiritual incarnation. Sometimes it is said that one is an incarnation of beauty, an incarnation of absolute success, an incarnation of the gift of music. What do you incarnate? Whom do you incarnate? Begin to think about it now. What and who lives within you? If you can resolve this conundrum, you will come to understand that all lesser inhabitants, which may be voices of the night of the astral plane, demons, records that are negative, all these various elements that you may have allowed to occupy your temple as, quote, incarnations. So the goal is to call to the I Am Presence and the Holy Christ Self, as the messenger has taught you, to occupy the four lower bodies, to occupy the quadrants. For in so occupying, then those quadrants shall be filled with the light of the I Am Presence and the Holy Christ Self. Occupy till I come, saith the Lord. So you must call to higher levels of being to occupy lower levels of being, so that you do not walk the earth, and that which is above the belt is of God, and that which is below is the electronic belt of the records of karma with which you wrestle in your therapy sessions. So, I give you a moment to ponder, decide if you will, or even consider, and think about now, what would be, if you could will it so, the aspect of God who would incarnate in you? Whom would you invite to occupy your temple? For example, who of the many manifestations that you see out of India, out of Buddhism, who and what vibration, what master? I dare say you will ponder this for many days, to be thoughtful, to consider. But I would make the point that since you seek empowerment to work the works of God in the earth, and that the incarnation of an aspect of God in you is key to that you would see to it that in the service you would render and the empowerment you would receive, that you have enthroned God in your temple and cast down all idols of the self. And as that incarnation is adored by you in the path of devotion, so in that path of devotion, you would come to experience increments of empowerment as that God manifestation in you would be secure in the level of your attainment, the level of your honor, the level of your sealing, the harmony of being and saying, thus far, no farther, I shall follow the path of the imitation of my God within me. And there shall be no other gods before me, behind me, to my right, to my left, beneath, above, or in the internal folds of my being. Christ and Buddha have called you to occupy the temple. Until their coming, you must go first, clean out the Augean stables, make a place ready, scour the inner 4 lower bodies with violet flame. Put the circle and sword of blue flame and the ring pass not around yourself. The point here is to make oneself the fitting habitation of God. God living in you eventually calls you to his heart, bonds with you, so now you are not 2 but 1. You in God and God in you move about the earth. Now you can understand a certain terminology of the ascended masters. I am a God-free being. I am a God manifestation. I am God who dwelleth in my temple. Now you can understand what it means to be a God-man. Means to be the full manifestation of God as male and female. These temples were once inhabited by your Holy Christ Self, with the exception that these were bodies of a higher vibration that sustained immortality. Thus you could walk the earth as immortals and as gods. Understand then the right use of that term, as gods. As God, '(S), meaning as belonging to God. As gods in the plural. For when you are an extension of God, and God is individualized and indwelling in you, then you partake of that God. And you are no longer a human, but a God-man. When you understand this properly, you will see it is not idolatry, but it is the logical succession of whence, how, and whither. Who am I? Why am I here? Surely not to be a mortal forever, but someday very soon to put on the garments once again that I lost of my immortality. I commend you then to contemplate the inner God, to remember the teaching of Christ. Do not look for the kingdom here and there, but look, for the kingdom of God dwelleth in you. The consciousness of God dwelleth in you. I desire that you should note the power of the diamond and the fiat Vajra. The greater the momentum of godliness within you, the greater the power of your spoken word to send forth the thunderbolt with the word Vajra. I am the Vajrasattva. When you give that name Vajra, I also am a part of it. And once again you see the Eastern teaching that even the Vajra, the spoken word of the thunderbolt, is personified being as God. So I give you this thunderbolt, this Vajra, but I tell you the condition. Use it in love, use it in purity. Never, never use the powers of God to destroy your enemies, for you will immediately be stripped of all power should you do so. Never use the name of God or a fiat or a mantra when you are not in harmony, not centered in love and wisdom and the will of God. Be careful with the misuse of the spoken word, for you have more energy than you have ever had by the use of that word. Do not misqualify it. Do not become fanatical. Do not ever give fiats if you have not first controlled anger or other emotions. The use of the words such as Vajra is holy, profoundly holy. For you to use it, beloved, I am taking a calculated risk, a risk in so giving it to you. But I point out, as I have just said, its misuse will create an instantaneous loss of the gift permanently. Therefore be sparing, and when you are exalted in your mantras and prayers to God, and you are aloft in the music of the spheres, begin with a quiet Vajra. Begin it within the soul and in the heart, and whisper it, Vajra, Vajra. Test it. Hear the sound, feel the sound. Use it gently until you know, when you know you are out of control or in control, and therefore able to use it. Since people become upset very quickly and often for no good reason, and emotions run high, I recommend that you use standard decrees to deal with those energies, and save your Vajra for those moments of bliss in God, whispering, then softly, then more strongly, but never really shouting. I tell you this, beloved, because the diamond of this thunderbolt is able to shatter centuries of layers of karma that must be broken up as you would break up hard substance. Earth needs a shake-up. It also needs a shakedown. Know then that we come to accelerate this planetary change on behalf of all who have spoken today and at this conference. May you see the plausibility of God dwelling in you and honor that presence by correct speech, right mindfulness, and the eightfold path of the Buddha and the Christ. I am Vajrasattva. I am in the earth, and I tarry as others do for the hour of the victory of the sons and daughters of God. And so I say to you, sons and daughters of God, claim your victory in this hour and stand upon it in the name of Vajrasattva. I thank you for your wonderful presence, allowing me to deliver these teachings, and I thank the Darjeeling Council and the entire spirit of the Great White Brotherhood for the presence of these beloved masters with us.